Welcome to The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 5 preview from Binge Gurus. I'm your host, Rick. With me is our regular contributor, the Bullet Lord, Shep. How you doing?
Pretty good, Rick. Thanks for having me on, as always.
Okay, so this week, in Episode 4, we had Negan comes to visit Alexandria. And I gotta say, my worst fears have become realized. The show is kind of just sticking more with Negan. It was 80 to 90 minutes of getting guns and doing a lot of stuff that I think people are not very happy with. I certainly am not. I think only really the comic book readers are probably happy right now. And I actually discovered something today that the ratings have actually been declining week after week. We're now at season 3 levels. So, I mean, what's going on? What was specific? I mean, what did really specifically bother you? You had some really interesting thoughts. I have plenty I can go with, but primarily, when Negan shows up, he bangs on the door, and then what? All right, here we go, Chef. Take it away.
The plot line is the dumbest shit imaginable. He shows up with a bat, and they've got an RPG, and they've got a million guns, and he's outside the walls, and he's tapping with his bat. Shoot the fucking guy, and be done with it. It's that dumbest shit imaginable.
Yeah, there's a lot of
things. And then
they
let him in, and then and there was a million different times. Carl had him cornered at one point. Rick finds the guns in the underneath the vent, and he could have shot him out through the window. I mean, this is stupidest shit imaginable.
Yeah, there was a lot of bad stuff, and it was. I mean, yeah, there's the thing with Michonne. She comes back, she sees everybody out there, and she walks right in with a deer and a rifle, on her back, and it's like, hey, why don't I just give you my deer? At the very least, forgetting who knows about maybe she didn't know about the rifle, but I mean, she pulls a rifle out from the inside of the fireplace, which is where I assume they were trying to hide it there. And then she's walking, she's out trying to target practice. So she can, at least she's thinking resistance. She's thinking, I want to learn how to do this, but it's way outside of her comfort zone. She's, an edge weapon person, knives, sword. Anyway, but it's bad. It's kind of, I'm almost, apoplexed. I can't even talk. All right, so
right. So we've got a degradation of the plot. We got people, the people that were strong have become weak. They basically just gave up to Negan, which makes no sense. And so, where are we going to go from here? What do we think? What do we have as like the hope of the show for the moment?
Well, yeah, the biggest thing, and I think you were talking about, is just like they gave away the guns, and that was just crazy. I mean, we're just assuming people remember that, but giving away the guns was just the worst possible thing they could have done. I mean, it doesn't even make sense, even from Negan's perspective. How are they even going to go scavenge for him or survive? I mean, the zombies have gotten so, easy to deal with that they don't even need guns. They just go out with a hammer and you're fine. Okay, you got a knife. I mean, anyway, so what do we have for hope? The only thing I can think of, and this was, spotted by some people on Reddit earlier this week, as they looked over it again, is that there was this earlier scene where they show a poster of Morse code, and that kind of indicates, and then people started looking for signs, is anyone using Morse code, and some people think that Rick and Daryl were communicating using Morse code. Daryl was like, blinking or something, and who knows what they were saying. I'm not, it was so hard to watch the first time, there's no way I can watch it again. To go back over that and try to figure out more, and I don't know Morse code, and I knew it, when I was in like Cub Scouts a million years ago. And, when I looked at the little thing on my walkie-talkie back when people had those. And the other thing is, Rick was, would have been tapping, the theory being that they would be tapping with Negan's bat on the ground and responding, and some kind of communication was happening. So hopefully that means Rick is, my hope is that Rick is telling Daryl, play along, dummy. Why don't you become a savior so you can kick this guy's butt? I don't know, or take over or something. There's got to be some sort of planning. And also next week, I think we're going to get a view of, based on the previews I've seen, we're going to probably go over to the Fort Town. I don't know what the Hilltop, I think, was the fortress that they blew up. But, they're going to the Hilltop and see what Maggie is up to over there. And then who knows, but the, saviors show up, but not Negan, the saviors without him, maybe the B team. And so we'll see. Hopefully we'll start getting some more interesting things and see what Carol is up to, because if I don't know what Carol is up to, it's going to be kind of hard to watch. Any signs of life in Alexandria other than the Morse code thing?
No, I think they just gave up, and so there could be something there, but I don't think so. I think what they might do is there could be a cool gambit between between Rick and Daryl. That would be great if they did that. Otherwise, the show is a slow march to all three groups: Fort Town, Ezekiel, and what's left of Alexandria, to try and meet up and fight Negan. That's it.
Yeah, it's not super. It's not making me super happy. The only other thing is like the thing with the bullets. What's going on with Eugene and the bullets? Was that something? I think I remember something about last season with that going on. Like where what was it? The redheaded dude with the handlebar mustache. Abraham, yeah.
It was Abraham, Eugene, and he decided Eugene was going to be the bullet. He was going to be the bullet lord, and he was going to make it happen. And now they've got a little bit of a crisis on the gun side of things, so they're going to have to fix that shit. But either way, yeah, that could be a storyline. Maybe they can keep it hidden from Negan, maybe not. I guess, I mean, it'll happen. I'm just curious how that plays out.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see if they're like making homemade guns. Where are they getting guns from? Are they made like old? Are they turning
3D printers?
3D printers. I was thinking more like old copper piping with like old Gatling guns, like hand crank, Gatling guns like the Old West, with like homemade lead bullets and things like that. But all right, so
Walking Dead.
All right, I lost your audio. Can you try that again, Shep?
Walking Dead meets Westworld, 3D printing guns.
3D printing guns, fantastic. All right, well, thanks for tuning in this week. Hopefully, we don't lose the entire audience, and I don't have we continue to have a reason to make these videos as the ratings decline week after week. If you enjoyed this video, please click like, and some other questions going into episode 5. What is what's going to happen is Maggie going to be discovered? Are there going to be any negative consequences in the short term for Alexandria for lying about Maggie being dead? And also, I want to see more of that weird, creepy priest guy. I can't remember his name. That was really the only highlight for me from episode 4. Anyways, for Binge Gurus, I'm Rick. And for Shep, thank you. We'll see you next week, hopefully.